you know.
Yeah.
So here they won't hear me, but from there
they should. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming to our presentation on digital tools in Blackboard. My name is Quentin Ballard. I'm one of the instructional designers.
And I'm Ibrahim Apuda, instructional designer.
Zachary Gibson, instructional designer.
Kimberly McCoy, associate instructional designer.
And we are missing one of our other instructional designers, Brandy Livingston. She is out sick today. So we're doing the presentation just from us. Today, we're going to do 4 tools today. One being Blackboard Collaborate, another one being Kaltura. Then we're going to do the Grade Center and then wrap up with groups. Now, I know that there are several other tools that we can introduce to you, but we felt that these were the most important that you can benefit from. And just a little tidbit, Zach had came up with an idea, actually. So we want to make ourselves more accessible for you all instead of coming to our office, which is way over there by the baseball field. So we will be in the room 622 right down here in the hallway in the conference room every Friday for the month of February from 2 to 3 p.m. to address any questions or concerns that y'all may have about instructional design, online learning, quality matters, etc. So we're just going to try and test this out and see if that is a good day and time for the faculty to come by and see us. And then for the foreseeable future, we'll change up our dates and times according to everyone who we talk to. So hopefully we'll get a lot of foot traffic in and make this as beneficial to you as possible. So I'll go ahead and get started with Collaborate. And also too, we should have enrolled all of your usernames in this course that we've created. So if you want to follow along, do that. It's called Digital Tools. So you should see it on your My Institution page or your courses page in Blackboard. So to access Collaborate Ultra, you just come here to the menu on the left-hand side. And there's a number of different things that you can do in here. So I'm just going to show you the first one here. This is how the students and yourself access Collaborate Ultra. So you click this symbol right here to the right, session options, and you click Join Course Room. You also have a number of different options as well. So let's say one of your students does not have access to a computer. They can dial this phone number and put the PIN code, and they'll be able to listen to it. And then I'll go into these a little bit later. What I've also done is create 2 different sessions. And if you follow along, you can jump into the main course room. But you can create different sessions. I've just done this for week 1, so you can have a session for each week of your course, whether it be 5 weeks, 8 weeks, or 15 weeks. And then you can also use your Blackboard course if you have an on-campus course as well. Every single on-campus course has a Blackboard shell. So I wasn't sure if you all were familiar with that. So every single faculty member who teaches, regardless if it's online or face-to-face, has a Blackboard shell. So you can come in here and set different settings for each week. And as you can see, the information is still here as far as the phone number. And if you have any guests, you can set their role here, whether they're a participant, a presenter, or a moderator. And you can provide this guest link to them by clicking the copy here. You can also set the date to where if you want it set just for that particular time, that's in accordance to your office hours, your virtual office hours. And then you can have the ability to have them access the course early. You can also have a description. So I'll basically here this week we'll be discussing the critical thinking and how it applies to your everyday life. So whatever you want to put in there for your description, this is where that will go. And then your session settings, you have an option here for the students to download the recording. So let's say they weren't able to attend. I will show you towards the end where those recordings will be housed, and they'll be able to access it, whether they can view it right then and there, or they can download the video. And then all of these are the default as far as them sharing the audio, the video, posting chat, drawing on the whiteboard, allowing attendees to join the session via telephone that I just discussed previously, and then you have options for private chat. And then let's say you have the students doing a presentation. You can actually create a session for that particular week. Come down here to attendee role presenter. So if they're doing any type of PowerPoint presentation or anything, you can already have that role set, so you won't have to make that change in the session. I'm going to go into the course room right now. And you'll probably get these messages at the very beginning, so allow your microphone to be used. And this is a couple of housekeeping things that you need to take care of before the students actually get into the room and you actually begin the session. So like I just did before, allow your microphone, allow the video, but you'll still have to come here and turn on and share your audio and share your video. The students can come in here as well as yourself. You can change up the moods and the feedback here. And then before I go into the panel, I'm gonna go to this open session panel. So whenever the students start to, that you do, otherwise the recording will not start. So you have to come in here and actually start the recording. And then you'll get this notification that it has begun. And then at the same time, whenever your session has ended, you'll have to come back here to click stop recording. And it depends on how long the session actually lasts with your students. I would give it about 30, 40 minutes to actually load and save in the recordings area, and then they'll be able to access it. So as you see here, you have the chat log, you have the attendees list, so everybody will be listed here. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. So if you don't have a session already saved for them to do presenters, their options will show here. And they'll fall under attendees and not the moderator. You also have an option to share a blank whiteboard. And you have different options here, pointer, pencil, you can change the color. The text box, clear it out. And then you can also change up the zoom in and the zoom out. Also note, and I'll touch upon this whenever I get to the share files area. If you're zooming in on your end, it is not zooming in on the student's end. So they are in full control of how they view it on their end. So if you're doing best fit, or if you're zooming out, zooming in, you're the only person that sees that on your screen. They'll have to do that on their end. Share application screen. I'm not gonna do this completely. I don't wanna mess anything up, but let's just say you wanted to share the Blackboard course and you wanted to reference something in a particular week, or if you want to show something else, you'll be able to do that by sharing your entire screen and then go back to the Blackboard course, and then they'll be able to see what you're doing on. And don't worry, I know I'm well, this is what we're here for. So like tomorrow when we whenever we have our session, or if you want to drop by, give us a phone call, send us an email, we can set up a one-on-one session to go over any of the tools that you see today. And then share files. So I went ahead and added some files in here because just to let you know, this is part of the housekeeping. So if you come in here and you have files that you need to share with the students, I would come in here and do so and do it now. And then also these files will be saved every single time that you access Collaborate. So if you want to refer back to a file that you did from a couple weeks ago, it'll still be housed here. So once it loads, you just highlight it, you click share now. And what you see on this end is what they will see. So as you go down, everything will start changing and they'll be able to see what you're doing. Also, too, I'll touch upon this is really, really quick. This is not, I'm not sure if y'all used Poll Everywhere. This is not Poll Everywhere. This is the basic of the basics when it comes to polling in Collaborate. So you can ask them multiple choice questions, or you can do a yes or no question. So if you have some easy questions you want to ask them, you can use that tool, but it's not as detailed as Poll Everywhere. And then you can also set a timer, and this would be ideal for if they're doing any type of presentations. So I'll just do 5 minutes and it'll appear here at the bottom of the screen. So you can either do a countdown or it'll count how long they're talking. And then you can also do breakout groups. So you can break them out. You can give them a discussion question. They can go in there and actually discuss the question. You can jump in there and you can participate with them via chat. So this is all via chat. This is not any type of video group. This is all using the chat. And it's separate from the main chat room. And if you come here to the My Settings, these are some of the same things that you saw on the main screen inside of Blackboard when you go to the Collaborate page. So notification settings, those same session settings. And then once you're done, like I said earlier, come here and stop the recording. The recording is stopped. You can get out of the Collaborate session. And then when you come here to the menu panel on the left-hand side, your recordings will appear here. As you can see, I don't have anything right now, but once you wait, like I said, 30, 40 minutes, depending on how long the session lasts, it'll be listed here, and then it'll have the option to actually download it or view it. Yes, sir? Yes, sir. Okay. Any other questions?
And let me add one
Yeah.
thing. Sometimes people create sessions in one course and then copy content to another one. Do not do that, okay? Do not create sessions in one course and then thinking that if you copy it, it's going to work. You're not dealing with the same course. You need to go to your real live course and create sessions there. So the links are intact, okay? So do not do new sessions in previous courses, always do live one. So to keep the links alive.
So you mean when you print a collaboration session on the current course and next
No, because it's not the same site.
but on the other course should be.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Or, yeah, you go. Should be good. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, I was just checking to make sure I had what I needed. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Grade Center. I'm not going to go totally in depth. I'm going to give you a few tips of Grade Center tricks and that most professors that I've worked with aren't aware of. Mainly how to create extra credit assignments or extra credit column, especially with weighted grade. Go to your Grade Center if you wanted to look real quickly and see how your students do it just based on color, and how to send a quick notification. Let's say you have a bunch of students who aren't taking whatever the assignment or the test is, and you want to remind them all at once. So the Grade Center will always be accessed through the course management on the far left. You'll see Grade Center. When you click that, it'll open up and you click Full Grade Center. When you first come in, you will see a list of all the students that are currently enrolled in your course, last name and then their first name, their last access time. So you'll see when they last accessed the course immediately. The availability. So if you try to access a course before it's made live, it'll say unavailable there. If it says available, that means students can access that course. They can get in the course. By default, we'll have 3 columns. One is the attendance verification, which I hope you're all aware of. The other 2 are a weighted total and a total. So it gives you these by default, but you have to pick which one you want to use. And this has to do with the final grade. So if you wanted a weighted total, you're only going to use the weighted total column, but you're going to have to set that up. If you want to do a total, just a running total of the points, that is automatically ready to go and it's there for you. My recommendation is if you're going to pick, let's say, just total,
is to go ahead and hide the weighted total if you're not going to use it, or vice versa. If you're going to use just the weighted total, go ahead and hide the total, because anything that you put in this grade center, if you create a column, or if you create an assignment or a test that creates a column, students will see in My Grades. So if you look over here on the left, there's a My Grades link. If I click that, students will automatically see everything that's in that grade center. So if you're putting a column in there that you don't want students to see, you'll need to hide it so they don't see it in My Grades. That's why I recommend just showing them whatever you want the final grade to be. Let's say you're doing a weighted total, you hide the total. That way they're just seeing the weighted total. Let me go back here. The other thing that I would recommend, let's say that you're doing just a total, and it's just going to give them a running, score of the number of the total. Let me go here. If you click next to the chevron, next to the title of any of the columns and go to edit column information, you can actually edit some information about that column. So if I scroll down, you'll see there's a primary and secondary display. The primary display, the students will see. The secondary display, you will see as an instructor, the students will not. So you put the running total and points, and it says 8, on your secondary display, the students won't see that. They'll just see the running total. They'll have to figure it themselves. My advice is to create another column, another total column. So I'm going to cancel this. It's go up to create calculated column, total column, and I'll just call this letter grade, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Scroll down, set the primary display to letter. Go ahead and where it says select columns, you just say to include all grade columns. Hit submit. Now you're probably saying, where is it? Every time you create a column, it goes all the way to the end. So if you have, several columns in there where you have to keep scrolling across, it can be a little after a while, always scrolling across. So if you wanted to move columns over to the far left, so they're always on the left side, like important columns like the final grade and weighted total, you can actually go up to manage, column organization. And in here, you can reorder the columns. So you see here that column I just made called letter grade appears at the bottom. So the bottom would be the far right in the full grade center. I'm going to move that up right next to the total. And I'm going to hit submit. And now you'll see that it moved over here. So it's on the left side, and it makes it easier to access right away. There are no grades in here for them, but you'll see this column here is the only row that has grades in it. The total is 30 because, basically they made A's on everything. And now, instead of just giving them the points, it gives them the letter grade as well. And they would be able to see that in the My Grades. So it would show up here with the total of the points, and then below it would just show them the letter grade. So if you wanted to see A and the total amount of points, you can create a new total column and just set it to letter. So I'll show you. I can show you schemas. Can I come back to it at the end? Okay. So let's say that you wanted to just have a total. You created a letter grade and you don't want them to see weighted total because you're not going to use it. Then you would go ahead and hide that from students by, again, clicking the chevron next to the title and hide from students. You will see a dark gray circle with a red line through it. That means the students won't see it and it won't be in their My Grades. So anything that you don't want students to see, I recommend turning that on. But I'm going to turn it on for what we're doing today. The green check mark right here is where the final grade submission will come from. So if you're submitting your final grades through Blackboard, through Banner, make sure that the green check mark is on the column that you want the final grades to come from. If you want to migrate that, green check mark to a weighted total. Again, just click the chevron next to the column that you want to move it to and click set as external grade. So when I do that, you'll see that green check mark has moved over. So now I'm pulling my final grades to banner that column with the green check mark. All right, so I'm going to show you how to on these grades. And what it does is it allows you to set certain grade ranges to certain colors. And it's a really quick, easy way to kind of scroll through your grade center and see how your students are doing. Again, you go up to manage, grading color codes, and it'll bring you to the grading color codes toolbox. You'll need to enable it. The first thing is to check this box here, enable. And by default, it sets in progress, needs grading, and exempt all to white. So if you wanted to have a certain color of the cell change, if a student has submitted a grade and it needs grading, you can do that here by clicking into this box. You'll get a color swatch up, and you can select the color that you want. A hex code, you can type that in as well, and you can change it to the color. I'm not going to do this part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add grade ranges. So below at the bottom, you'll see grade ranges, add criteria. So when you first come in, there won't be any grade ranges. You'll have to add them. So if you click add criteria, the first one I'm going to do is more than or equal to 90. So anything from 90 above, like an A, my recommendation is set it to a cool color, like a blue or a green. So it kind of recedes. So you're like, oh, that's great. Anything that's starting to get into an area where they're not doing well, your student's not doing well, set it to a warm color so it automatically pops out at you. So when you look at your grade center, hopefully you have a sea of blue, but if not, you'll see all these oranges and reds popping up and you go, uh-oh. And you can also scroll up and down a column and you can kind of get it quickly visually. So you set it, the first one, more than equal to 90. Again, you click there and you'll get a swatch that comes up. I'm going to go with an azure, a cyan and azure, and apply. Then I can add the next one, and you can keep going. So now I'll do it between 80 and 90, and I'll do maybe like a greenish color. And I'm going to go ahead and add a color for like less than, let's just say 60. I'm condensing it. I usually do the whole full range, full grade scale. And this one I'll make, well, let's do like this orange color and apply. So once you have them in there, you hit submit. And you'll see let me scroll up for you. Just going across, this student is doing pretty good. It's all blue. But let's say the sample assignment, let me go back real quick. So if you see the yellow circle with an exclamation point, that means needs grading. And I'm just going to put a 0 in here and say okay. And you'll see it'll trigger the orange and you'll know automatically that student didn't do too well. And again, just one row, it's not as impressive, but when you have everybody color-coded, then you can start to see real quickly as you scroll through which assignments are doing, students aren't doing too well and which ones they're doing really good at.
The grade talking an average or, in other words, there's a couple scores.
Yes.
So that was that. Number of points.
Yeah, so the color will be on everything. So if it's an individual assignment and it's out of points and you give them, 100, it'll be blue. It'll also do it on the final totals, however you had it set. So if you have it as a total or a weighted, it'll also do the colors on those as well. So right now I have it set both ways, but If you were just doing total, for instance, you can see it. If they weren't doing well, it'll trigger those colors as well.
No. And I can't really, how is it calculated? Because the blue color is 100.
Yeah. I'll show you weighted total. Are you asking how it's calculating? Yeah. I'll show you how it's calculated.
That was a total column, like an average or.
Oh, yeah. Total column is just a running total of everything here.
You get to set all that up.
Yes, and I'm going to. Because there's a little bit to it. Another tip is, let's say you have an assignment due or a test due. I'm just going to say Friday at 5 o'clock. It might not be the best time to set, but just for the sake of example. And you go in there and you look, oh, there's a lot of students that aren't taking this, and it's 4 o'clock. You can come up to the column, say it's a test column, click next to the chevron, and you will see, if I can find it, in this send reminder. When you click that, it's going to automatically send an email to the students, and it'll say, I don't have it here because I had it on my computer, sorry, but it'll basically say, you have not submitted this assignment. Please check your due dates. It's due at this time. So it's just click some. You don't have to go down and click. Now you can't change the message. It's just going to be a Blackboard message. But usually when students see that Blackboard thing, they go, "Oh, I need to check that because it looks important." You just do the whole column. It'll go to all the people that have not taken it. You don't have to select anybody. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up an extra credit, but to do that, I have to real quickly run through weighted totals and totals. So by default, a total column, you'll see it here, it'll just be called total. Just starts counting up the points of every assignment or test that you put in to the grade center. So really not much you have to alter there. A weighted total will come in unchanged, right? If you have a brand new course and you have it copied over from a previous course where you set up a weighted total, it's going to be just set up the weights. So if you see weighted total, you want to use that, you would click again to the chevron, edit column information. And if you scroll down, you will see select columns. What this is, you need to select the columns that you want to include in the weighted total. And there's two ways to do that. You can do it by selecting individual columns. Let's say you wanted to weight each different test at a different weight. I'm going to undo these over here so I can show you how it works. So let's say I wanted to say sample test 1. I wanted to set it at a certain weight. Over here in columns to select, you click it. There's a little arrow to the right of that. Click there. That brings just that test over. And then I can enter the or do sample test 2. Click that over, and then I can put 40, right? And so now the weighted total is just off of those 2 tests. So that's the first way. Let's say you have 3 tests and you just want them all weighted evenly, and you don't want to put each one individually. You can categorize the test as a test, right? And I'll show you that in a second. And I can just bring over that category. So if you see the second box here, it says categories to select. I just hit test, bring that over. I'll put in 50. So now everything that's in my grade center that's categorized as tests will be included in this weight. Assignment, bring over, will be included in that way.
So you have to write like just test, or can we say, because like it might be quizzes, like 5 quiz will be under test, so.
Right, and that's my next step. I'll show you how to categorize. So I would advise setting this up first and then if you want to do, like what you're saying is if you wanted to do tests and then versus quizzes, you'll have to create a quiz category, and then you'll have to come back and edit and add that category in. With the category option that you don't have in test is that you can, let's say you give them 3 tests and you wanted to drop the lowest grade, you could do that here. It gives you that option. So I'm gonna go ahead and submit this. I don't want to get this, I want to do a quiz. So anytime you're in Blackboard and you go to the, create test, it's going to categorize it as a test. You would have to go to manage, categories, and then by default, these are the categories that you'll have. So if I wanted to create a quiz one, I just create category, call it quiz, and then hit submit. So now you've created that category. Now you have to apply it to the columns that you want. And in here, you'll see everything that has been categorized. See the columns over it, it'll tell you which ones are categorized. You can go column by column and change the category, but that can be time consuming, especially if you have multiple assignments that you want to change. The easiest way is decision. So let's say this sample test 3, I wanted to change it to a quiz. I can click next to it over here. And at the bottom, I can go change category to quiz.
My question wasn't changed. My question was, for example, in sample test 3, we have it will be a collection of 5 quizzes. 5 quiz will be the grade of test 3. Then 2 quizzes will be for test 2. Just kind of.
Yeah, I'll show you that here in a second too. So once I hit submit, remember I would have to go back to my weighted total. And I've changed things. So it's giving me an error because I changed things. And I would have to put that quiz into my weighted total like I just did. Here we go. And I think I freaked it out. Sorry, let me get back to it. There we go. So what I did is one of the tests was set as a test and I changed it and it kind of freaked the system out. But you'll see the categories. You have quiz listed there, so I would just bring that over. I'm going to reset that category back to test so that I can show you create an extra credit. I'm going to manage, column organization, and real quickly set this sample test. This is a test. Okay. Extra credit. So let's say you didn't want to make an extra credit assignment per se. That way you would just create an assignment and make it out of 0 points and then it would automatically add on to the total, and not change the actual total. Let's say I just wanted them to say, for instance, go to a talk, and if you sign the sheet, I'm going to give you extra credit. So what I can do is just create an extra credit column. This is for if you're using running total. I'll get to if you're using weighted grade here in a second. Let's say I want everything, the final grade to be based off the running total. And all you would need to do is create column. So this creates a new graded column. I'll call it extra credit and I'll put total. And you would have to make it out of 0 points. I'm not going to add to the total, right? And I'll hit submit. So now when you scroll over, remember anytime you make a new column, it's going to come all the way to the end. And I'll go up to my student that has grades. And let's say I just wanted to give them 5 extra points. Wait. Do 5 here, click away. It'll say, do you want to do this? You say yes. So now you'll see in my total column, it's 35 because they've got the 3 tests. They had 10 points on, they got 30. They didn't do the assignment and I gave them 5 extra credits. So the total is now up to 35. Keep this in mind. If they have 100 on everything and you give them 5 extra points, it will go to 105. So that's for total. That's the total. It's a little tricky, right? Because you're weighting the test. So what you'll have to do is essentially total up the test, add it to the extra credit points, and then use that in the weighted total. So this will, I think, answer your question. So let's say you had 3 tests and you want the accumulation of those 3 tests to be the score.
Yes.
You would do that by going create a calculated column and a total column and tell it you wanted the 3 tests to be the total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a graded column to be my extra credit. So again, I'll make it out of 0 point to the test, hit submit. But now I need to total up the test and add in the extra credit. So now I have to make a total column from the create calculated column, create a total column here. So I'll say total of tests plus extra credit. So if you scroll down, you'll see all grades. You don't want to do that. You want to select only certain columns to total up. So if I click the second option, again, you'll see a list of categories or columns. We're going to do columns to select. So we're going to do test 1, test 2, test extra credit. So it's going to total up all their test points plus the extra credit and bring that over. Hit submit. Yeah, I'm doing that next. Okay. So now that you have all the tests plus the extra credit, now you have to weight it because it's just doing it out of those tests. It's not weighting. It's not pulling in the extra credit. So you go back over to your weighted total. And I'm going to edit column information. And instead of category, I'll do away with this. Now I'll just pull in the test plus extra credit. And I will weight that. And give the student 100 here. So it'll make their grade better. And you scroll over and you see.
The score, yeah, that.
This one? Oh yeah, we'll have to put in that too. 10 points. And you'll see it jumped them up. Are you able to see it? So I'll go. So this is with the extra credit, and I'll go over and I'll take away the extra credit here. 5. You see, it changes. Somebody had a question. Did I answer your question? Schema. So real quick, so the schema again, you go up to manage grading schemas. Yeah, you can create your own, or you can use the default one. So I'm going to show you the default one. By default, you'll have letter, and if I click next to this and edit, scroll down, this is the default schema here. And I'm going to cancel this. So if you wanted to create your own, you just create grading schema, and then you can alter. So when you create a grading schema and you go in and that where it says primary display, you would have to select your grading and to create the ranges, the grade ranges.
I'll do that to put that in the way that's great.
Yes, if you wanted to use a new schema, yeah, you would have to. Oh, no.
When the kids go to the my grades
Uh-huh.
and look at, say they're taking one test out of 7.
Yeah.
Is that, you got an A on that test? Will they show an
For,
A? In other words, they want to look at their grade
uh-huh.
in the class. And you have multiple tests. Once they've taken one test, will that total column show, can you show an A if they've got an A in one test?
Yes.
Yeah, it depends on how you set it up.
Yeah.
If you go to the total column, go there, you have to choose running for against the student. If the assignment hasn't been,
Yes, they have to set them up.
you have to decide.
If I were to
Right.
take it.
Calculate as running total, yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't count the assignments that haven't been graded. Yeah, it considers what is here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To touch upon what the coach just said, so let's just say the class is completely done, but they didn't do one of the assignments from, whatever week. If you don't put a grade in there, it's not gonna count against it. So you'll need to put a zero.
Whatever. If the grade are in column, it will add it up.
Right.
Yeah, because it's not counting.
So,
Another question, I think, well, I've used, if I have 5 tests, and 50 points each, one test might be, the first test might be at 50 points, the second test might be at 30 points. When it averages them, I think it averages the numbers, not the percentage.
in a weighted total or a total?
I'm wondering, I don't know, in total, say in total, it's gonna.
Yeah, in a total, it's just a running total. It
The
has,
weighted total, I have to go in and I have to assign the percentage.
Yes.
I want each percentage to be equal, regardless of the number of questions that,
yes, and there's ways to do that in the weighted total. You can,
So I've talked to you separate about that.
yeah,
And I've checked the group agreement, what they're saying in Blackboard is not that they're good total.
yeah, there's some
I
options.
recall test, the percentages, it's not. Taking the total.
Right.
I'm doing the wrong kind of column.
Yes, you do want to do weighted total, and then there's some choices when you're in the weighted total based on how you want the math. If you wanted to evenly distribute it, let's say you have one test at school. Take that account for 20. So we can get with this and we can kind of show you. Right.
Okay.
Excuse me, Zach. From now on, if someone asks a question, can you repeat the question? Because those that are
Oh, okay,
watching,
yeah,
they
I'm
can't
sorry,
hear the
yeah.
question. And then they kind of, yeah, because, so if you repeat it, then it would be, thank you.
So you have to say all the questions you got so far and then.
Yeah, go back. I don't have that memory. Any last questions? I mean, that's a real quick run through Grade Center. Grade Center is actually pretty robust, and I think a lot of times, as I teach online as well, you get so used to just doing the same thing over again, you don't realize there's a lot of things you can do that make your life easier and kind of cut out some time.
So I think with my class, I said that's 50% for 3 tests.
So you've said,
Each out of 3 tests, each one 50%.
Uh-huh.
That's one.
yes, so
It's not wrong. That's one, not 50%. This one, 50%.
whichever you have the highest score, you get the 50%.
Can you do the maximum function in the grade?
It's like dynamic. Each student may have his own higher score among
Yeah.
those three paths. Student one may have higher score in path two, student two may have the higher score in path three. Whichever the test score coming from the three paths, he wants to have like 50% on that.
That's
Can
some,
you get the question now?
yeah. That's something we might have to work on one-on-one. I have to look at it. I might be able to help you out there. I think I understand, but I might have to look at your grades.
But the three tests, the one is 100, the other one is 90, the other one is 80. Each one comes 20%. I said, that's one will come 50%, so 100 becomes 50. And this one comes 50%, so 80 becomes 40. It's very interesting.
Yeah, so you're wanting, basically the question is you want rotating weighted columns based on how they do. And that might be possible, but again, we'll have to look at it because you might have to set up, it might be kind of a complex setup. And it might be something you have to do in Excel and import.
This is definitely an example of a one-on-one session that we'll have to have.
Yeah.
And I would bring your syllabus, so we'll see the breakdown that you have, just in case you have any other questions about any other grades. But yeah, we definitely need to set up a meeting with you. I think it'd probably be beneficial for all of us to sit in on that, just in case any other professors have that same question.
Good question.
Okay, I think I'm good. Okay. I want another window open so I can access my.
Okay. Well, just
leave that.
Yeah, just use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to be short, and I'll be talking about Kaltura capture. Have you used it before to make videos, short videos for your courses? It's a really nice application because it is easy to use, and your student can also use it. Instead of asking papers and discussion and tests, you can ask them to make videos, get involved in and the output should be a video to be turned in. They can do that too. And you can use it to, as I said, create your course material. You can use it to provide feedback to students if the feedback is complex and you fear that you will be misinterpreted. And then what we usually recommend people do, if you are going to use it over several years, okay, we recommend that you contact the studio so that you can produce it in a professional environment and get all the help you need. But if you wanna you can do it yourself quickly. It doesn't have to be nice. It doesn't have to be professional because you are human and errors are okay. But what we ask from you, if you're doing this for lectures, study guides, we ask you to send us, to make a script that you send to us so you can get the closed captioning done for your video. Okay? Now, how do you access it? It's a different system from Blackboard, but delivered to you through Blackboard. Okay? So you just log in into the portal and go to my institution. And then just look for my media right here. And click. Because Quentin has it already, then you go directly to your media. If you don't have the cultural application installed to your computer, is gonna ask you to do so. You choose your platform, PC or Mac. If you have a Mac, click Mac, install the application before you get to use it, okay? And it has videos in its repository. Only this area is nobody can access it, okay? So think about one thing. You are creating this video for your course, and maybe you're not alone to teach the course, or when you're not available, then that will use the video, there is a problem. They are not going to be able to access that video. So I'm going to show you some way so that you can share the video you create. Others can also use it, okay? So you install Kaltura. Is going to be empty because you have nothing in there. What you can do from here, you got different ways to add videos. You can find free videos elsewhere and just upload them to your Kaltura content. You can do that. You can get videos from YouTube. YouTube videos are not copyrighted, not protected. It's free. You can use them, or you can produce your own. And furthermore, after you have a video, use the video and actually add to it. Maybe they'll watch the first 5 minutes, and then you have questions about what happened there, and then move on. You can also do that. But we are not going to touch that today. Again, we'll be available on Fridays. If you are interested in knowing that, come to us, and we'll help you with that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to touch cultural capture. If everything is working for you, this is how it should start. My account is broken. I have to find a way to fix it. I removed Kaltura, reinstalled it, but it's still not working. So I'm using Quentons. This is what I want. I just open links, and it
Can you hear?
Hey, lovely. So you go back to the course, yeah. Thank you. You can hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I'm going to show you an example of a PowerPoint file. If you're using PowerPoint, what you need to do is just get your PowerPoint ready in a way or chapter 1, like this one. I'm going to open it. All right. This is the PowerPoint that we have. And look at it, according to you, this sounds good, right? It's ready to be used. According to you, what do you think? Is this ready to be used for a recording in Kaltura? Well, maybe yes to you, but some people will say no. Why? Because of the yellow lettering right here. Avoid using red in Blackboard on anything when you teach online. All that for ADA purpose, okay? And another hiccup is this one, the image.
You need to describe it. Descriptive text.
Voila. But since you are going to make a movie, you lose all that. What you can do here, hey, tell us what this picture depicts. What is it? And where you got it from. And then you are ready. Okay? So once you decide to use PowerPoint as a background, you know, and make recordings using PowerPoint, well, think about little things like that. Now let me go to Kaltura. I'm going to make a short recording using this PowerPoint as a background, okay? And I can tell my camera is on, make sure the level, audio level is proper because you're producing and everything will be all right. And I want to keep the video, you know, little box, and then I have my PowerPoint somewhere. Some people don't like that because they don't want to show their face. That is your option too. You choose what you need to do. And then I'm going to start recording. It gives me 3 seconds, but I am not that fast. So I launch my PowerPoint. And then move from slide to slide. When I'm done, I'm gonna end the show. Go. You can pause, take a break, come back. I'm done, I'm gonna stop. I prefer that you get ready, do that at once, and then don't worry about it. When you go see Jack, go ready with your script. And then you're done. So I'm going to stop. And then I want to save this and upload. It's going to take time if it is long, but we recommend you keep videos really short. Make several of them, but keep them short.
How many minutes?
Well, to me, I would say over 9 minutes is too long to me. Maybe it's going to say 15 or 10, but I like in freeze.
Kaltura is basically only there as instructors are concerned for it very quickly. Anything else needs to be done in Jack and Chris's school. This is just one of those things where if you got to make something real quick for that particular week, this is where that tool will suffice. Other than that, you need to go where you can get a professional video made by Jack and Chris. Obviously, you can talk to them afterwards, but that is our full recommendation when it comes to Kaltura. This is not something that you need to be using on a regular basis. This is something that is very quick and useful that will get into the course right away.
So you said 9 minutes or 15 minutes for the whole presentation to have.
Yeah, if it goes over 9 minutes, or let's say it's 20, split it 2, part 1, part 2. Yeah, and send us your script so we can do it. Okay. I'm sorry.
Can we see what you're recording?
Yeah. We want to go to the Okay, this is the one I just recorded. Okay. And here you are. If you made mistakes, like at the beginning, I took time to get, ready. So this is a lost video right there. What I can do, go to action and click edit. Okay. And here, change the title of it, and collaboration. Okay, maybe you need to share with Dr. Smith or you or Quentin. You add the collaborators right there and choose co-editor so they can do the same thing as you as the owner.
We'll do it for you.
And they will have it. And they will have it. They can do anything to it. Yeah. Okay. And I'm not gonna add any, so I'm gonna delete. And you can add attachment and all that. But I think collaboration is area is the most important and details if you wanna change. Now, to cut out the portions I didn't want in the video, click the launcher. Okay. Then you can edit. It comes back. Okay, here is the video. And I know maybe the first 5 seconds are not good. So I can just pull, this to this area. And that's it, that portion is gone. And inside the video, maybe I found digressions elsewhere, locate them. What you need to do, just split the video into pieces. And I come here and I split it. Now, this is the portion I don't want. You can just click, the bin to remove or delete to remove it. And another thing I wanted to show you before, and then always save a copy because the agents are already there. I touch it. And your collaborator may touch it too, but you will not use, your original file. Okay? So do that and save a copy. And another thing would be, let's go to, okay. On the action, you know that once you create and start using a video, you can actually follow up with what it's becoming, with the users. Just go to your videos in my media, you deploy them in your courses. Okay, are they watching them? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, you get the analysis. Got this, by whom, how many plays, and all this information. Okay. Another thing I would like to. That's gonna be quick. I'm sorry, because I think you guys will love this one. If I find this course, where is it, Quentin? Okay. Let's say you made a paper and then really you don't want to spend time providing writing to students and maybe they are going to misunderstand you in your comments. You can just come here and find, there was one assignment he created. That's what I want to find. Sample assignment, this one. Go to view attempt. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it's- voila, on the grade, and then view grade details. And then what you wanna do, view attempts. And you want to provide feedback to the student, so open the submission. Huh? Huh? I don't know what's that. Openness. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. And then come here. And to add a comment using cultural media mashup. I lost it again. Here it is. Mashup and cultural media. It takes you back to where I was in my media, and you stay there quickly, talk to the student, create one, add one, and then submit. And this is the use of cultural media. Yes.
We have one more tool we need to show you, and then we'll be able to answer the questions afterwards. We're time constraint right now. So we're gonna do.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
I'll be here tomorrow. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you real quickly about groups, which is an option that you have when you use Blackboard. And anybody who needs to leave, or if you just want to come back and reference this later, I believe everybody's been added to this course, so this PowerPoint slide will be available to you, so you can go back and look at it at a later date. So in Blackboard, like I said, you have the option of creating groups, which is kind of neat because that's a good way to try to get your students more engaged into the course. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. I'll show you one later on. But we have single groups, and you can do a group set. You can also do it where you're actually entering the students' information, or you can have them do it when they log into your course. Just a few of the best practices. You might be thinking, well, why would I need to do this in my online course? It's a good way to increase critical thinking skills. In addition, it's a good way to have students just learning how to work together. We all know at some point you're going to have to work with different individuals that you may not know. And also, as I just stated earlier, especially when you're online, I think it's an excellent way to just kind of get students more engaged and more involved in the course. Some of the features, which I'll point out in a minute, in groups, it gives you the option of assigning different tasks, which I'll point out in a minute. Also, you can decide which different tools you want visible. There's a lot of different tools, and you might not want all of those visible to your students. Now, these are all the things that you can actually do in Blackboard with your groups. So you can have them do a collaboration, a session using the chat feature, which is neat. So if they needed to meet, talk about a project, they could do that. A file exchange, if they needed to share documents with each other. They can also do a blog, which I was really excited about. Discussion board. I think we all use discussion boards, but with the groups, you can have a group discussion on the side that wouldn't interact with the regular discussion board in your class. You can also have your group members do journals and provide different tasks. wikis, if you're into that. I know a lot of online classes have their students actually do wikis, maybe some type of dictionary type activity that you can do. And you can also just send emails to the different group members. And before I forget, I'm just going to slide through this. Paul, there's some additional resources at the end of this PowerPoint presentation that talks a little bit more about how to grade students. I know sometimes when I work in groups, you might end up grading a whole group of students, and they suggest that you can do that or you can do it individually. So just again, some more best practices that you might want to take a look at a later date. I'm sorry, I'm kind of running through this. We are pressed for time. Did I lose a class? Okay. All right, so you might be thinking, well, how do I get started? So I am already in our course, and I am going to scroll down to the course management area. And you are looking for where it has users and groups. I'm just going to go ahead and click on groups. And I've already done this, but I'll do it again so you can see what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to click on create. And as I stated earlier, you have two different options. You can do a single group or a group set. You can also do self-enroll or manual enroll. So what I'm going to do is a group set, just because we're pressed for time, and I'm going to enroll. You can call this whatever you like. I'm just going to do digital course materials group assignment. Down here is where you actually get a description of the course. If you want this visible to your students, you would hit yes. And then these are different tools that I mentioned earlier. So just say, for instance, you wanted your students to participate in the blog, but you didn't want to grade it. You can do that. Here's your discussion board option. If you wanted them to be able to email within a group, file changes, same thing with the journal. If you wanted them to participate, have a journal, but didn't want to provide points for that, you could do that too. Different tasks, wikis, etc. So right now, I'm just going to leave that as is. And then right at the bottom is when you tell it how many. So for this one, I'm just going to do it in 2 groups. And I want to do a smart view for each of my sets. So now I'm going to hit submit. And then right here is where I can actually add my students. So as you can see, it already has my different groups set up. To add the users, I'm going to click on add users. And then I believe everybody that attended today is already listed in our group. So I am just going to do like every other person. For my first group. Okay, so you can see all the individuals that are in that group. And then I'm going to scroll down to my second group. Select all those students and then hit submit. So now I have both of my groups. And also too, just say for instance, you're looking at this and you're like, wow, I have too many students, I might want to add a third group. It gives you the option of creating another group while you're in this area. So once I hit submit, and I believe, okay, so there's my 2 groups right here. It's telling me enrolled members. They did a self-enrolled, no, and then right now they are available. So now I have my groups. And then when you open a group, and these are all the different activities that are available to them, you can see your group members, and then you can proceed from there. So again, this is a great way of available to students. Oh, and let me show you this one thing that I just thought about. Just say, for instance, I'm gonna real quick switch over to student view so you can see how this look as a student. So I've already created my groups, and I should have an option on the side I do where it'll show them my groups. And then whatever you name the group will be visible down there. So when they click on it, this is what your students are going to see, which is going to look a little bit different from yours. We'll go back. Because as the instructor, in order for you to get to your groups area, then you'll be using groups. Did anybody have any questions? I know I kind of ran through that at the beginning. We're short on time. Just want to make sure that we touched on it. All right, so the last thing I want to just point out under that same little area where it has groups and Blackboard, in addition to the PowerPoint presentation that you can go back through, there's a handout that we created, which is also available on our Blackboard training site, and it shows you how you actually can create a group assignment using Blackboard. Okay. But again, if you need to set up a meeting up with one of us or come by the Friday lab, we'll be happy to go put you with this as well.
Do we have any questions? I know that there was a couple of hands. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you still.
One's there. No, there's one there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all want to pass it around?
Oh, yeah, just pass it.
Oh, that's neat.
No questions? Say it one more time. Sorry.
No, just in general.
Yeah, in general. Yeah. Yes. The presentation is it's complete.
So the videos that we upload in Kaltura, we are owners of those videos.
Correct.
And can you show very quickly how to download them?
How to the students can't download. They can only upload. And it's saved in their My Media area. So everything is equal as far as like the instructors and the students as far as like their My Media. Obviously the instructors will have a little bit more things to do, but as far as like accessing the videos, it's in My Media.
It's if you want to save your video to your computer when you creating it, yes. Okay. So you record. You have two options: save and upload, and then save. When you save, it goes to your computer, not into the cultural repository. If you do save and upload, this is where it's sending it. So if you want to keep a copy for yourself on your computer, click save. And then get into cultural. When you save, then you can share. Okay. If you upload, they will have to access video where you make it available, because they cannot access your account, your cultural account. And what you can do also, you can send them an embed code that you get in Kaltura. So pointing them, sharing with them in Blackboard, or sending them the embed code is also a way for sharing with them. Or the copy that you've saved to your computer, upload it to your attachment, to your email as attachment and send it out. Those are the different ways. So I find 3 ways to share.
So I'm gonna go back to I've already done it for this one, but I'll do a new one. So if you go to any video, click the link and then click Actions, click Edit. And then from there, click Downloads, click the source file, click Save. Now it's saved. Yeah, go back to your media, click the drop down, and there's the download option. Any other questions?
Yeah, you can download it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Kaltura is for making video.
Correct.
It's making video.
And keeping the video.
Now, Collaborate is a live video.
You'll have to start the recording at the very beginning and then stop the recording as well. That's the only way it's going to save in the downloads and recording. Correct. Correct.
Kaltura, I shoot the video that Kaltura.
Correct. Just quick videos. Quick videos.
Now, Kaltura, you need to send that to you for capture.
You need to send the caption to us.
Yeah.
And then we forward, and then we forward it over to the video studio and they caption the video. Collaborate, you'll have to have a captioner in the actual course. So if you have a student that is in need of having it closed captioned, then you'll have to get with the DRC and set that up. So if you go back, I'm just going to join it. Let's see, so hold up. It actually might be saved now. So you go to Collaborate Ultra, come here, click the menu. You'll see recordings. Yeah, so that's the one that I recorded earlier when I had showed you. And it'll say the duration. Oh, you know, one more thing. Let me go back to the main menu. I remember this when I was sitting down. So this also shows reports of the students that actually viewed the video, and it'll show how long they were in there. So there's analytics on Collaborate as well, similar to the Kaltura videos.
Back to the recordings.
Yep. Yep.
Recent recordings. Not there, and you recorded it. You have to go to recordings and arrange and then put in the date range. I think it's after a month.
Mhm.
They're not in that menu.
Yeah.
You might say, oh, where'd it go? You have to go to recordings and arrange and just set it from the when the class started all the way. They should pop off as long as you record it.
You know, we can download the recording.
Yeah.
Download it and upload it.
Yes. And just to touch upon something else as far as the Kaltura, Dr. Polo was talking about the quizzes, that actually ties back to the gradebook. So if you have quizzes that are tied to that video, it'll go back to the Grade Center as a grade. Okay. Thank you all for coming.
And they're thanking your team.
Oh, okay. So just real quick wrap up. So like I said, we're going to be in the hallway in the conference room every single Friday for this month from 2 to 3. We're available every day, pretty much 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So if you have any questions or concerns, please come by. If you want to get our contact information afterwards, please do so. And touching on the course that we have, as far as Kimberly said earlier, we have a Blackboard training course, our Blackboard resources course. You should already be enrolled in there as a student. You'll find a bunch of our different resources as far as the Grade Center, Kaltura, Blackboard Collaborate, all of those things. We have a student graphic designer in our department that helps us create those PDFs as well. So we have a bunch of different resources. We're here to help you, regardless if you have a face-to-face or an online course when it comes to Blackboard. So thank you all for coming.